Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mary with Mary's Blue Door, and I'm really excited to be here going live. I don't normally get to do this, but I recently figured out how to move my videos from Facebook Live to my YouTube channel. So awesome. I'm really excited about that technical challenge that I overcame. But today I just wanted to pop on for a few minutes and I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite go-to oils, which is frankincense. So I love frankincense and also sacred frankincense. And the reason I love them is, first of all, the smell. The smell, I just really resonate with the smell. And as some of you guys know, I love to do my meditation and prayer and all that good stuff. So frankincense really helps me to connect with that divine energy and helps me to just calm the mind and just get into that zone a little easier. And because I associate this, growing up Catholic, there was a lot of incense at Mass and stuff. So it's always one of those that smell to me that has always been associated with the divine. And it really brings me back to that place really easily. But I also wanted to talk about a lot of the physical benefits of frankincense. And one of the things I use it for a lot is anything that's going on in my mouth, like with my gums or with my teeth, or even if I get a little cold sore. So frankincense is really effective for any kind of pain, because sometimes, you might have some food stuck in your teeth and you don't get it with the floss and it kind of gets a little irritated. And I mean, literally, almost instantaneously, I will feel the pain subside. So I really love it for that. It's also really good for our skin, which is wonderful. So I don't use it all the time on my skin. I'm really poor on my skincare procedure or whatever that's called. Wish I was better at it, but frankincense I know is really good. It's really good for wrinkles. I know a lot of people that have used it and love it and swear by it. One of the other things of it, it's actually really good for anybody with anxiety or depression. It also has some anti-cancer properties. So there's a lot of physical properties that the frankincense brings. Now, one of the neat things that I recently learned about it is that it actually is one of the oils that contains a certain kind of compound. It's a class of terpenes. And those substances or chemicals, molecules in the oil, they actually, through the olfactory system, when we smell the oil, these compounds can affect the amygdala. And the amygdala is the part of our limbic system where we store old wounds, old traumas, old emotions, but it's also the place where we can release them from. And so they've actually studied these compounds, these class of terpenes, and they've discovered that when we smell them and bring them into the limbic system, it actually increases the oxygen in the brain. And they think that this has an impact on the DNA. And they do know for sure that the only place that emotions can be released in the brain is from that area of that limbic system, that amygdala. And so when we smell any of those oils high in those compounds, things like myrrh, sandalwood, frankincense, it can actually help us to release some old traumas just by smelling the oil. Obviously, I use Young Living brand. You're free to use any brand that you like. I would caution you that if you're buying it at the store and you're buying it for $20, you're probably not getting a therapeutic grade oil. So a lot of the oils that are in the health food stores, while they smell really nice, they may be diluted or have a lot of chemical additives, so their therapeutic value is going to be greatly decreased over something that you're going to get from Young Living, or there's a couple of other companies out there that do really good oils too, so do some homework. I know there's a lot of people use doTERRA oils. They like to use Melaleuca, Rocky Road, there's a couple of other ones out there. So anyhow, just go do your research, make sure you're buying a quality oil, and trust that this little friend will change your life. I love it. Oh, one other neat story about it, actually. So my husband a few years ago, was going to a concert with a friend, and he didn't know anything about the bands that were playing on the night before. He discovered that these bands, it was kind of punk, and some of them were a bit satanic elements. And so when he was leaving that morning, he was like, can you give me some of that frankincense? So I gave him a little 5 milliliter bottle, and he put some on his shoulders, because we also know that frankincense, as well as helping us to connect with the divine, can also help repel negative energies. And so he put it on just as a little layer for himself, a little layer of protection. And as the day wore on, he kept reapplying it. And at lunchtime, he went and he got something to eat. And then he came back out and he sat down. And it was kind of like a grassy area where he was sitting. And he was by himself at the time. And this other gentleman came over and sat somewhere near him in the vicinity. And this guy's t-shirts had a lot of, satanic references and stuff like that on his t-shirt. And after 2 or 3 minutes, the guy starts sniffing around and looks at my husband and says, "Do you smell something?" And my husband goes, "No, I don't smell anything at all." And the guy goes, "Oh, it stinks over here." And he got up and left. And my husband swears that it was the frankincense that was repelling him and just repelling that energy. And this guy found that smell to be repulsive to him. So it was kind of a neat story. Anyhow, stay tuned. I'll be back next Wednesday, maybe with another oil or some tips on breathing. Feel free to check out my website, marysbluedoor.com. I also have group breathing class going on tonight. So if you want to try out some frankincense tonight, I have it. And we can get working with it straight away with the breaths, which magnifies and amplifies the positive effects of the frankincense. So, all right, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Adios.